All right, for my subscribers out there, this was a full 400 grit sandpaper, not this cheap sandpaper. And don't worry about how I got my shit, but I got my shit. But as you can see, my silver bullet right here on the back. Now this puppy is smooth. I just did this right before I did the to fill in them big holes and scratches. I just filled that in with 2-part epoxy, not 1 part. I mean, 1 part glazing putty, but 2 parts hardener and a putty. Something looks like that right there. 2 parts, 2-part on there. So this is the first. This was after 1 can of primer filler. 1 can primer filler. No, it was 2 cans. 2 cans of primer filler. And then I seen all my big dimples and holes. And then glazing putty. Took it down with that 400. And then hit it again with the primer filler right here, 2-in-1 primer filler sandable. So I got just a smidge left in this can. This is a full can, so I'll let this dry because I just done it with a 400 grit sandpaper on the Monty Carlo for the Monty Carlo SS spoiler, front and back. As you can see, this thing's got very big lips here. Very big, smooth lips. Right there, those lips are smooth and they run straight. All the way down to the silver happy trail, silver bullet. But this right here, I just need to fine tune that just a smidge, let it dry out. I just want to let it dry out. And it just runs smooth, fat lips all the way down that skis right there, bud. Front, back, bottom. And I originally wasn't even going to use this spoiler, but what happened was it ended up breaking in half. As you can see, all this has been sanded down with 400. Nothing there. It's been sanded down. I sanded it with 400, but I end up breaking this completely in half. Right along here, right along in this area. And so I had to fiberglass it, Bondo it, and fiberglass it. But this puppy is smooth. I had to create my own corner here from chipping this. All this was Bondo and fiberglass and Bondo to make this, to form this edge here, to resemble this edge here. And I put a little bit in here to reinforce that. But that puppy is going to be on getting dried up for whenever I hit it again with the 400. It's still pretty wet right now, so I'll wait until it dries and I will hit it with this 400. Now this is this good 400 grit sandpaper over here that I got. So this is some real good 400 grit from whoever made this. But this stuff is real good. So on wet sand, apparently you want to put it in hot water with some warm water and some dish soap. So, you know, we're living rough out here. So we got that dollar store dish soap. Really don't matter. But, you know, this was some good sandpaper. I had spent like 11 bucks on that. Right there on that. So I'll use that within the next week. I'm just going to leave it there in the water. As you can see, I got my floor freaking soaked from doing that, which I had to mop it with the bleach water. So the next thing I'll be doing is finishing this can, which I got about that much left in it, maybe less. And then on to this can, And then in between there, I'll patch the little bitty holes because I seen like one other small hole. And I got to come up with something to get inside the crack. Get in the crack of that. Because there was one little, like this right here is a little rough right there. And right there. But the rest of it's real smooth. I mean, this is 400. Of course, I got 1500 grit. And then I have 2000 grit. But what I'm going to do after this, because this is just the spoiler for the Monte Carlo, it's going to be a long time before it's even ever on a trunk. So once I get it, the next coat of primer, and get it sanded with 400, I'm just going to bubble wrap it up with some tape, and put it up to where it's safe. But as you can see, this is a straight line. Big fat lifted straight line bitch. Bing bong.